The first one is unit testing, integration testing, regression testing, smoke testing, system testing, alpha and beta testing, performance testing. So let's start with unit testing. Unit tests are typically written by developer as they write the code for a given unit. So when the developer write a method, for example, it is unit of code. They are usually written in the same programming language as the software and use a testing framework or library that provides the necessary tools for creating and running the tests. So, what's the benefit of unit testing? Early detection of bugs. For example, now, what if the user need, for example, a login page, for example, but the user now didn't know, or the developer now didn't know how can he will make the login page with email and password or with username or what its user needs. We have to ask the developer, the client. So we're detecting now a bug. We have to ask the client, what do you need, email or password? So we detect now a bug before releasing or before going into the code. Unit tests can uncover bugs early in the development life cycle, making them easier and cheaper to fix. Every time when you go through to the end of the life cycle or the project, the bug to fix it will cost a lot. And it also improves the code quality. Okay, let's go to the second one. Integration testing is a software testing method in which individual units or components of the software application are combined and tested as a group. The goal of integration testing is to validate that the interaction between the units or the component of the software work as expected, and that the software as a whole functions correctly. So now, what's integration testing? So the developer started, as we said before, unit test, unit. So unit and unit and unit, the developer interact or combined with these units together, they make integration now. Make integration between these units. So in this time, we'll make integration testing. Okay. Integration testing is typically performed after unit testing and before system testing. It is usually done by developers and test engineers. And it is usually carried out the module level. Integration tests are typically automated and run frequently as part of the software build process to ensure that the software remains stable and free of defects over time. Okay. So now, let's see first what the benefit of integration testing. Also the same detection of defects that may not be discovered during unit testing. For example, user now create login unit or module. After login, you have to success and use the token from login to can add item to cart. I know that the response is correct, or where the user can log in, the token is come to me. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's something more secure for our customer or the application. So now the token is the ID identification of the user. So now I know the response come with token. After that, I need now to add item to cart. So the developer create module or unit for login and unit for add item to cart. But there is a problem. The integration testing will detect it and improve system design, improve software quality and reliability. Okay. let's go regression testing. Regression testing is software testing, a method in which previously developed and tested software is retested after it. Okay, overall, what's the regression testing? Now I am as a tester. I try to detect a defects and I found a defect. So I make a report, a bug report, and said to the developer, there is a bug now. After the developer fixes this bug, he returns it back to me. When I try again to test again in the same defect, this is called retest or regression testing. Okay, let's go next. Smoke testing. So now, smoke testing, also known build verification testing or build acceptance testing, is a software testing method in which a minimal set of tests are run in a new build of a software application to determine if it is stable enough to proceed with further testing. The goal of smoke testing is to quickly identify and isolate major issues with the software build so that development can be halted if the build is found to be too unstable or unreliable. So, the benefit of smoke testing: early identification of major issues can save time and money by allowing developers to fix errors before they become more costly to fix. What is smoke testing? You take the project now and try to for example, you have a website, to browse everything in the website, to check everything, functionality, non-functionality. This is called smoke testing. It can improve your software quality also. So overall, smoke testing is an important part of software development that helps to ensure the quality and the reliability of the software by identifying major issues early on the development process. Okay, what else? So smoke testing is typically performed early in the software testing process, after software has been built, as I said, and before more extensive testing is done. It is usually done by developer and test engineers, and it is usually carried out by running a small set of critical test cases that exercises the most important functionality of the software. Smoke tests are usually automated and can be run as part of the software build process. Okay, system testing is a software testing method in which an entire software system is tested as a whole to ensure that it meets the requirement and specification that it was designed for. The goal of system testing is validate the software system behaves as expected when it used in its intended system. Okay, when it used in its intended environment, and that is meet all the requirements for functionality, performance, security, and usability. Again, system testing is now part of the test engineer. You have to validate everything, to check everything and compare the expected result with the actual result to make sure everything is correct. System testing is typically performed after unit testing, integration testing, and regression testing. It is usually done by the test engineers, and it is usually carried out by running a set of test cases that cover all the functionality of the software. The test cases are chosen to cover the requirements and specification of the software and to ensure that the software behaves correctly under different conditions and scenarios. Okay, under different conditions and scenarios. What's the meaning of this? So when you test a mobile app, for example, you should test it in 3G and 4G, 5G, slow network, good network, Wi-Fi is the same. If the network is disabled, if there is no any network, you have to check everything. System testing is typically automated and run frequently as part of the software build process to ensure that the software remains stable and free of defects over time. Okay, what's the benefit of system testing? The same thing, everything is the same thing. Early detection of defects. Early detection and isolation of defects, which can save time and money by allowing developers to fix errors before they become more costly to fix. Improve software quality and reliability. Increase the user confidence. This is the main goal of system testing. Increase user confidence. As a system testing helps to ensure that the software behaves correctly when it used in its intended environment. So, overall, system testing is an essential part of software development that helps to ensure the quality and reliability of the software by identifying defects early on the development process. Alpha testing. Alpha testing is a type of software testing performed to identify bugs before releasing the product to a real users or public. Alpha testing is one of the user acceptance tests. This referred to alpha testing only because it is done early on near the end of development of the software. So, alpha testing, it is done inside the company, okay, or inside the development team. Alpha testing is commonly performed by a homestead software engineers or quality assurance staff. It is the last testing stage before the software released into the real world. As I said, alpha, there is alpha and beta. Alpha is the company when you test it in your company, or you can for example use I think outsource companies, for example outsource quality assurance companies to test that. Okay, beta testing. Beta testing is a process of testing a software product or service in a real-world environment before it is officially released. It is an essential step in the software development lifecycle as it helps to identify bugs and errors that may have been missed during the development process. After the company finished the alpha testing, it deploy a beta testing. If you open now, for example, Google Play, I think, or App Store, you will find a beta version. This beta version, make sure you will be the future release. Use the future release, but with a lot of bugs or defects. When you find it, you will send to the company that there is a lot of errors. If you don't send anything, they send it to them. How is that? They make a method that if any crash happens, if everything, they make analytics of everything in the application. So it's done by the users. Beta testing is performed by real users of the software application in a real environment. Beta testing is one of the types of user acceptance testing. A beta version is of a software whose feedback is needed, is released to a limited number of end users of the products to obtain feedback on the product quality. Beta testing helps the minimization of product failure risks, and it provides increased quality of the product through customer validations. It is the last test before shipping the product to the customers. One of the major advantages of the beta testing is direct feedback from customers. So now, Conclusion. So now you have to know the final conclusion of it. Software testing is essential for ensuring application meet user expectations and function correctly. Understanding key principles like detecting defects early and recognize the impossibility of exhaustive testing and vital for delivering reliable software. Okay, various types of testing, including unit integration, regression, smoke, and system testing, offer unique benefits like early bug detection and improved code quality. By embracing these principles and employing diverse testing methods, developers can enhance product quality and user satisfaction. Thank you. See you next session.